While buying a car can be exciting, navigating the current economic environment with caution is significant to avoid mounting instances of bad debt. And joining us now to delve into the complexities of purchasing a new car in a high interest rate inflationary environment and to steer clear of financial turbulence is Editor-at-Large for the Financial Mail, David Furlonger. Thank you so much for your time, David. It was just last week when we were discussing new vehicle sales, and actually we touched on the stress that consumers are under right now. And you did mention that demand is not the issue. People actually want to buy cars and on credit. That's very strong. But some of the key issues include affordability and also if you will actually get something from the bank. Let's actually start off with affordability. What questions should a consumer be asking themselves in searching to see if there is room for car finance in their wallet?
The first thing you've got to do is go for the car you need rather than the car you want. We've seen that trend in the market over the last few years where people have been buying down from premium brands to less than premium brands, moving down to smaller vehicles, but not at the rate we should be. We've still got too many people looking in the shop window, seeing the lovely car that reflects their character rather than they need. If you've got a wife and 2 children, you don't need a bucky. If you've got just yourself and a dog, you don't need an SUV. Just be serious and sensible and work out what you actually need rather than what you think reflects you.
Okay, so David, a reality check. Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'd also want to speak about the consideration between new and used here. That also feels like a decision that may be a point of attention.
Yeah, look, usually when the new market is in trouble, there is a very big switch to the used market. The problem we've had here for a while is that there's been a shortage of good used cars on the market. You can always get a used vehicle from somewhere, whether it's at an auction, whether it's from one of the banks. There are any number of outlets, but you've got to be equally cautious there about what it is you're getting. It's very nice to think that I can get a luxury used car for the same price as I can get a mid-range new car. But again, what do I need? And it's really common sense. But unfortunately, when we look in the dealer windows and we see all those glorious vehicles, and I'm attached to vehicles as much as anyone, but my buying habits tend to be very conservative. But when you look in there, there was an old thing about gambling. Buy with your head, not with your heart.
Okay. Yeah, indeed, a very, very interesting one there that when you're buying a used car, you actually need to think, of the function of the car and also just how good it is. I remember I went to an auction once and I eventually bought a Corsa that was about 36,000, but I saw a luxury Mercedes-Benz there for about 50,000. I was like, you know what? I could actually just add more and buy that Mercedes, but actually would have been good to actually look at how the car actually functions. Just talking about interest rates, David, a lot of people during COVID bought cars with variable interest rates because, of course, at that time, interest rates were going down. But now you have a lot of people regretting that, that they didn't get this car finance at fixed rates. What considerations here should you be making in terms of choosing what kind of interest rate you're going for? Is there a way to win?
It's always a gamble. I mean, if I were a gambling person at the moment, I would probably go for linked because interest rates are likely to come down. But then if you look at my financial history, you probably wouldn't follow me terribly closely. The only thing I would say about that, and in fact about the whole process, is again, you look in the shop window and you see what you want. That car is going to be there tomorrow, it's going to be the next day, it's going to be there for months and months and months. Take your time. Even when you've got the deal you think is right for you, don't sign. Shop around. You'll probably get a better deal. At the moment, because the market is so weak, dealers and manufacturers are offering all sorts of fantastic deals on their vehicles. Am I going to get the best deal just because that's what the dealer is telling me? Shop around, shop around. I mean, you can save a lot of money by taking your time.
And I think the salesmen can also be very aggressive at this point, so you have to be very wary of that. I want to speak, David, about trade-in as a science here and that break-even point for those people who have been looking to possibly change a car. Maybe the family dynamic has changed. Maybe there's an extra child, a pet, or so on that you're trying to accommodate here. But having to time the trade-in, that can be very tricky too.
Yeah, look, a lot of people trade in very early in their finance period. Traditionally, well, years ago, the maximum period for a purchase agreement was 48 months. Now many more are 6 years, 7 years. Realistically, unfortunately, they can turn into 9 years and 10 years. Because what happens is that you are seduced by what they call the balloon payment. So you pay your deposit up front, and then you have your 30–40% balloon payment at the end, which basically is another deposit at the end. So let's say you get yourself a 400,000 Rand car, your balloon is on a 30% is 120,000 Rand. Now you may think 5, 6, 7 years down the line, I'm going to have 120,000. It's so far away, it's not a problem. I've been in this situation myself. It is a problem. You don't just put away 120,000. So when your finance period is up, you refinance for that extra 120,000. But now coming back to the used vehicles, yes, you can you can use that vehicle, your used vehicle, into the new vehicle you want to buy. But have that balloon in mind. There's 120,000, or if you're getting an expensive car, R250,000 Rand floating around somewhere. So again, you've just got to be cautious when you go into that, and not just think, my vehicle is worth such and such. Just think what it's really going to cost you.
Yeah, really lots to consider here, David. Thank you so much for your time and giving us insights on that. That was Editor-at-Large for Financial Mail, David Furlonger.